Most businesses don't get cold email right. And there's only two reasons. First one is they get the technical setup wrong. Second one, they get the copy wrong. Now, with the technical setup, there's email infrastructure, deliverability, and all these different things. Technical stuff, but not overly complicated. There's a lot of documentation around how to execute it properly. So let's assume for a second that they get the technical setup correct. When it comes to copy, there are three things to look for inside copy: is the offer, the risk reversal, and the case study. 10% is the offer, 10% is the risk reversal, and 80% is the case study. As long as you have 20%, you can make a cold email campaign work. But most businesses always say, oh, cold email doesn't work for my business. It does, they just haven't nailed down their offer and their copy. So in this video, I'm gonna break down how to create a strong offer for your market. The offer I'm gonna use is going to be for a staffing and recruiting company, how I would craft their offer. But in this video, I'm actually gonna break down getting the leads, validating the leads, uploading the leads auto-magically into Instantly, and then having Instantly send out the replies with the right type of copy. And I'm gonna do it all live, so stay tuned. So here we have all of our scenarios, and what I actually want to do, I want to go to a scenario I just created to be able to validate the leads that we have. And what we're going to use is this magic scenario right here. So if you wanted to scrape leads, we would use an actor called Apollo Scraper, which is this one right here. With this scraper, you could scrape 1,000 leads for $1.20, which is one of the cheapest ways. I'm going to show you this most efficient way, then I'm going to show you the cheapest way in a second, and quite frankly, my favorite. So once you run an actor, you get the data set and you run it through Never Bounce, and then whether or not those leads are valid or invalid, it will populate a Google Sheet. But instead of doing all that, what I'm actually going to do is just show you guys what that looks like. So when you run an actor, you would basically get it from here. This is the code that you would want. And I will post a link down below. I post this information in another video. And in fact, what I'll do just to make it super easy for you guys, I will end up exporting this so you guys could come in. All you got to do, open up a brand new scenario, click on import blueprint, and you'll be able to import it directly. All you would effectively have to do is just set up your account from like this one. You would have to add the API key, the API token, and you're basically good to go. And the way you do that is you have an Appify account page that'll give you the token. I'm not going to share mine for obvious reasons. Then you would use Never Bounce to be able to validate the email, then Google Sheets. I'm actually going to do it a little bit more in a more simple way. I'm going to delete this one over here, and I'm also going to delete this one over here. I'm going to upload a Google Sheet. And the Google Sheet I'm going to upload is the Google Sheet that I got from our good friends at Boomerang. So let's open up Boomerang. So basically, let's just use this one for this example purpose. So I get this list, I download it, it gets populated right here. Instead of 1,000, I only do 27, just to show you guys this example. So I have 27 leads. I want to go back to make.com, click over here after you connect it, obviously. Google is one of the easiest connections you can make. Very simple. All you'd have to do is you have to sign in through Google, and it's basically set up for you. Anyway, let's close this because I'm already connected. We're going to choose a spreadsheet ID, and what I'm going to type here is V for Victor, 00, and it's going to get my Google Sheet. Perfect. And the sheet that I want is going to be copy of main file. Limit, I'm just going to make this 26 because there's only 26 leads in there, and I'm going to do all. Once I have all that, I'm actually going to run it. Perfect. Got all the information that I want, exactly what I'm looking for. Let's just align it to make it super nice. And then I go to Never Bounce, and let's add our emails in here so they get validated. All right, let us run both of these on this module. In fact, I just want to test it, make sure everything is good. Let's use Glenn Saunders' email, and let's take a look. Okay, result is valid. That's exactly what I want. Execution time, 292 milliseconds. All right, this is good. This is good. Now, all I have to do is add. Now, I'm not going to be adding a row. I'm going to update a row. So what I have to do is I'm going to delete this module over here. I'm going to create another one. I'm going to add Google Sheet, and I'm going to say update a row. And what I want to update is this Google Sheet that I just shared over here, which is this one, V00. So type in V00. It's going to be the first one from Boomerang. And the row that I want to update, it's going to be copy of main file. The row I want to update is going to be the last one. So let's get out of here. And okay, let's do AD is That's going to be the status row. So let's go back to our make.com scenario. Row number, extremely important. Make sure you type in row number like this. And scroll all the way down. We don't update any of these. We just want to update AD. So AD, in fact, you don't actually see it say status over here because I updated afterwards. Let's go back over here and let us refresh this. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to save it real quick. And I'm just going to sign out of here for a second. Okay, you know what? This should be fine now. Let's click another one. And now if we get it, now it'll show us status. Okay, so let's get the result. And let's click on go. Okay, this should be good to go. Now what we're going to do, I just want to use this as a quick test. I basically want to just do 5 because I don't want to be using up all my credits when I don't have to. Okay, launched. This one should launch now. And it didn't launch. All right, so let's figure out what's happening. Okay, so this one actually did not go through. So let's figure out why. Okay, this is fine. Let's just run this individually. Okay, watch new rows. Right, let's run this again. A copy of main file. Let's just click out and click back in. Yeah, it has all that. Set to A. In fact, this is going to be A till AD. Now let's run this again, run this module. And it does not want to load. It's totally fine. Let's figure out exactly what's happening. Okay, we got nothing. It's completely empty, it's telling me. Right? Is this a correct file? Let's just double check. Yeah, this is the correct file. AD. Let's do till AE. Right? And limit, we're going to, I don't think limit matters. Let's just take a look without it. What do you know? It does matter. Okay, no rows. I'm going to add a module. I'm going to do the same thing here. A lot of this is testing back and forth. Right? I just want to double check on what's happening here. It could be a glitch. No big deal, but we'll figure it out. So boomerang. It's getting the data fine. Yeah, sheet. Okay, this is being filtered fine. And I basically want to run all. And it just run this really quickly. Okay, this is giving us all the data. Now, what could be wrong? Now, choose where to start from. All. And I'm going to run this module again. Okay, now the data loads fine. So let's delete this. I think I was actually picking the wrong one when it says choose where to start from. So let's launch this again. Let's figure out what's happening. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay, this one's updating. Let's go over here. Okay, perfect. I would delete all the catch-all ones, by the way. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to do it from scratch. So let's go back. Let's go over here. I'm just going to click out, right? And then I'm going to populate it again with the same V00. It just refreshes it. It's a little bit easier. Okay, there we go. Okay, AE, this is perfectly fine. We don't want 10. We want 26 because we have 27 rows. Okay, got it. Everything looks good. All right, now let's go back to our... Okay, so it's starting all the way from the bottom. I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to start from the very beginning. Choose where to start. Just choose manually. And we are going to start. These are all the leads that are in there. So let's see who's at Victor Wong. Victor Wong, where's our friend Victor Wong? Right, let's go back here. Choose specific ID. No, don't necessarily want to do that. I basically want to do all of it. Yeah, 26, that's fine. Okay, let's launch it one more time here. Okay, there we go, perfect. It's going to rewrite a lot of this. So it's still going to keep running. That's fine. Okay, so we have the list that we want, right? What I always do, I definitely want to filter it again because if all this is filtered and I added this in afterwards, this one's not going to get filtered. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this down just so it freezes the very top row. I'm going to click on filters and I am going to organize this by filters. And I'm going to delete the first 2 rows because it's catch all and it's unknown. I don't want my emails going bad. So I'm going to delete this completely. Okay, so now we have a working list. Well, what's the next step? We want to upload this list into our Instantly campaign automatically, effectively. So we have this list over here. What I'm going to do here, in fact, let's just give this a name. Lead validation, right? And then I want to type in Command S. Let's go back to scenarios. Now it's time to upload them. So we'll create a new scenario. We're going to take that same Google Sheet. Let's just delete this. And let's delete this. Let's take our Google Sheet, the exact same one we were playing around with. And let's type in V00. So V00, boomerang. That's fine. Only thing I have to change here actually is going to be rows with headers. It's going to be AE. Yeah, AE, a limit is going to be 27. Right, let's save this. We're going to do all. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the Instantly module, and we're going to go to click on add leads to campaign, add multiple leads to campaign. Let's add the leads that we want to our campaign. Now, the campaign that we want, you got to first set up the Instantly connection. This is actually a huge pain because if you go on Instantly, this is the campaign that we wanted in. If we go on Instantly, in fact, let me just delete the old list that we have just to prove a point. What you would want to do is you want to click on settings. You'd click on integrations, and then you click on API key. You come over here, you create an API key, use that scope. This will be V6 demo. You create a key, you copy this, you come into this scenario right here, you click on add, and you'll type in your new connection, and it's not going to work. There's a lot of reasons why it doesn't work. But what ended up happening was, after some trial and error, is the version that works is version 1 and not version 2. Create a new API key, copy the API key, and come paste it inside here, and then you'll get all the necessary campaigns, anything you effectively want. So what's going to happen is I'm going to run this module. We have all the necessary information. Now we want it to populate into our Instantly campaign. In fact, let us rerun this just because I want it to populate correctly. Okay, let's go back into Instantly. It's already connected. Add a lead into our campaign, pick the campaign, and now we're going to pick all the necessary information. Just for example's sake, I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to do first name, last name, and I'm also going to do company name, organization name. Let's also do their website. Okay, perfect, website. Okay, let's click on go, and then basically you would run it. And of course, it's not going to work. That was a test. Okay, so we got data, 0 data that came in through here. So let's run this again. Okay, so again, 0 data came in through it. All right, you better figure out what's going on there. But what's going to happen is, just like last time, let's just delete this and let's just add it again. Watch new row. We're going to type in V00, sheet name, copy main file. That's fine. All. And now it should work. Okay, now we're going to run this campaign. Reference module 3 is non-existing. So let's figure out what's going on there. Right, we are going to run email, first name, last name, company name, and now let's run it. A website, perfect. Okay, now let's run, see what happens. Okay, because there's only 2 launched, let's go back into our campaign and see which ones actually worked. So this is going to be our campaigns. Come over here, leads, and perfect. We got 2 of them already in there. And now I basically want to do all of them, and we are going to say 29, even though there's 27, and let's launch this again. Perfect, almost instantly. And then we're going to refresh this. Perfect, we get our campaigns in there now. Now, the second part of this video is basically what we want is we want sequences. We want a cold email campaign that ends up working. Now we have the leads in our pipeline. Now we got to actually write the copy that we're going to be sending to these people, and we're going to do this under sequences. Now I have a document here that I follow. This is just one formula. There's countless other formulas that work. This is just the one that I found works the best for me based on the companies that I'm targeting. Now we're going after staffing agency, so acknowledge why you're reaching out. You could use a personalized icebreaker, right? It'll basically be icebreaker, right? And then you could have ChatGPT write it for you. But what I've recently started doing, subject line, it could be anything. Quick question, right? I could say first name. You got to experiment with that, whatever works. You could write icebreaker, but I typically try not to do that. I just write, hey, David, or hey, first name. Hey, first name, found you on LinkedIn and figured I'd reach out, right? Okay, now next thing is tell them what we do. I work specifically, now this is my first draft, right? So we'll work on this. I work specifically with staffing companies in, I don't know, pick an area. Vancouver. I work specifically with staffing companies. I find the biggest issue is having a consistent biggest issue with staffing companies. I typically wouldn't say staffing this often, like staffing companies, but we'll work on that. I find the biggest issue with staffing companies is not having a consistent pipeline of strong candidates. Okay, perfectos. Last month, I helped the consulting generate, I don't know, what's a good number? 39 new clients. Would it make sense to jump on a quick call? Best Bobby, I'll show my name. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is a good start. It's not the greatest cold email, but it's a good start. Let's see, what can we start chopping up here to make it a little bit more punchy? We got the main things there. We have acknowledge we're reaching out. We have tell them what we do. We have social proof, and here's what I want to do for you. We could make this one better for sure, right? Okay, so let's start here. Found you on LinkedIn, reach out. That's fine. Leave it alone. I work specifically, get rid of specifically. I work with staffing companies in Vancouver. Generate leads. No, I'd probably leave it alone. So I find the biggest issue with staffing companies, the biggest issue CEOs find is having a consistent pipeline of strong candidates. Last month, I helped generate 23 leads. I'm confident I could do the same for you. Would it make sense to jump on a quick call? No risk to you. Happy to give you a Google. You don't write guarantee, or you don't want to write free or anything like that. How would you want to phrase that? Happy to, basically I want to say, hey, I have all this, I have skin in the game too, as long with you. I'd probably leave that up, but I at least have something I could start off with. Remember, the marketing, the biggest thing is market feedback. This is just to see, you can drop a guarantee in there. Be like, hey, look, I guarantee you 50 meetings in, I don't know, 3 months, or I guarantee you X, Y, and Z. I usually give like 1 month guarantees. I think that works really well. And then people just really, all you're trying to figure out within the first 30 days is this guy an A player or B player. A players eventually figure it out. It might take them 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, but they ultimately always end up figuring it out. So what I would do now, I would basically get this campaign. I would put it in here. I would see how it looks over here. That's fine, right? And I would also write the subject line. It's fine to have spelling mistakes a little bit here and there. You just look human. I'd basically run it like this. Then I maybe have another test, maybe offer another guarantee, but for this example, I won't. And I think this looks fine. I would literally leave it just like this, right? And then I would launch. Again, I don't recommend even putting the launch in automated because you want to come in here, fix some of the mistakes, maybe clean things up. Don't worry about the spelling mistake, right? You want to go, let's just save it here. Perfect. And figure out when you want to run it, and then you go in options and you want to write some things here. This will be extremely important. That's fine. Pick the email accounts that you want to send it from, of course. Send email at HTML only, of course. Send a maximum. I only have 30 in here, but I send no more than 100 in a day for one particular campaign. Usually have 8-9 campaigns running at the same time. And start randomizing a little bit. Time between emails, it's 7. I'll probably add another 2 in there. 7, 8, or 9 minutes. It'll change. This one, you can write 100 because you want some follow-ups to go in as well. And then basically you'd launch. I'm not going to launch because it's not my campaign. That was just an example I was sharing. And that's basically it. You could totally automate majority of it anyway, at least 90% of it. Saves you a bunch of time than having to put leads in instantly. And you could basically, anytime you get messages from Boomerang, it'll automatically go into your guys' campaign. Just without even really thinking about it, because these guys will do all the hard work. Now, if you want to skip the validating leads phase, all you would do is just have them validate the leads for you, right? Do you want us to validate the leads? Yeah, Lead Magic is great. I use it often. The best one on the market is Never Bounce, but another one that's the biggest bang for your buck is this one right here. Bulk Email Checker. They all do the same thing. Don't be fooled by that. But the only problem with this one is you can't use their API because you got to pay for a special purchase. You got to pay for a special product, right? So I usually leave them alone. I usually use Never Bounce for something like that. Anyways, guys, I hope this video was informative and I hope you got some value out of it. Thank you very much.